I'll reintroduce the band here. We have André 3000, Carlos Nino, Nate Mercero, Surya Bonifacia, and D'Anthony Parks. Beautiful performance.
Thank you.
And also kind of like overwhelming at times. You know, I was wondering, I wonder if you feel like there's room in this music for terror, for anxiety, for fear. Are those emotions that you find that there's room for in this kind of music?
For sure. It's everything. Like we're kind of hanging on moment by moment. Sometimes it's super beautiful. Sometimes it's very, very scary. Sometimes it's, you know, jubilation just kind of like blowing through the roof. Yeah, it changes and you kind of just follow it. And it dictates what happens. So yeah, it could be great at times. It can be awful at times.
You ever get surprised by what you yourself and your creative partners here make?
Yes, that's the cool thing about it, because we don't know what's going to happen. The reward is greater when it happens because everybody's a part of it, everybody's listening, and when it's going, you're like, whoa, like what is that? You know, so it's surprising because it's never planned out in that way.
I should say that New Blue Sun is nominated for 3 Grammys: Best Instrumental Composition, Best Alternative Jazz Album, and Goddamn Album of the Year.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could this record, could this project, could this group of musicians have come together anywhere besides Los Angeles?
I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of places, but not this group. Yeah, this group is it's L.A. L.A. made this happen. If I wouldn't have moved to Venice Beach, none of this would be here. If I wouldn't have met Carlos Nino, none of this would happen. If Nate and Syria and D'Anthony from the crib though, so Georgia. But it was very happenstance and meant to happen in the way that it did. None of it was planned. Kind of like how we do it. Like it is really following the breadcrumbs, which I've always done that. Even during Outkast times, like I never knew, you know, I'd start producing. Like I didn't produce anything on Outkast's first album. I started producing second album. I didn't know I'd start playing instruments. I didn't know I'd start singing. I didn't know there'd be a Hey Ya. I didn't know there'd be a Miss Jackson. I didn't know none of that. So it's kind of like I just follow where it's taking me, you know, and that's really what happened. And me moving to Venice Beach definitely helped me meet this great group of musicians that none of this could be possible without. So yeah, y'all too. Y'all chime in if you, please, say some goodness, man. Yeah.
You know, Carlos, I was curious during the bit where you were using the dried out palm frond. I love that, like, if you live in LA, you see those on the street all the time, right after like a windy day, and it's viewed as like a nuisance. But you turned it into this like beautiful, like, way to evoke an atmosphere. I love that.
It's been happening forever. I mean, this is, this is sound that we love, and it's bamboo, and it's eucalyptus, and it's oak, and it's anything that falls or is in somebody's trash. Sometimes I stop by when people are cutting down trees, and I try to forage. I would never take something off of a tree, but it's a big part of what we're doing is sound source, sound creation, sound feeling, sound depth, sound love, so yeah, I mean, the palms are here, and there's lots of other plants and metals and alchemical alloys and all this wood that he's playing from. I mean, all these elements coming together, and that's something we're honoring in what we do, is continuing to connect even more deeply with that source, you know, and sound.
Yeah, I don't think I can't recall the last time I listened to somebody play cymbals and it made me think about like literally the mineral. You know what I'm saying? In the cymbal, what metal it is or whatever.
Or the ocean, hopefully.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I really sometimes am wishing I could surf on it, or somebody feels like they're surfing.
Yeah.
Or swimming. Or
Yeah. Interesting. I think people, if they've read a little bit about this record, they know that you and Carlos met at Erewhon. That's sort of become part of the lore at this point.
This is true.
Is it the Venice Erewhon? Which Erewhon?
Yes, the Venice Erewhon.
All right.
The market's a great place to meet, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you meet somebody at the market, things might go well.
Yeah, we call it Club Erewhon. Like I noticed, I swear to God, this is this dude that I met, and he hangs out there like he's like, man, I'm telling you, and the girls, they come here from this hour to this hour, like he go there like a club. I'm like, are you serious? Like, so it's like Club Erewhon, yeah.
Were you just doing your regular shopping? Were you having a
Yeah, it's
lunch?
like my neighborhood Erewhon, and
Yeah.
I was just checking out. And actually, I was talking to Mike D from Beastie Boys.
Oh.
And Carlos walks up when I'm talking to Mike D.
Yeah.
And I mean, y'all have heard the story a million times, but if you haven't heard it, talking to Mike D, and Carlos comes up and he says, "Hey, man, you know, people were telling me you were in town and you were playing flute, and I knew we would meet." And I knew that we would meet at some point, and they were telling me, y'all need to get together, y'all need to get together. And from that point, he said, well, I'm doing this event tonight, so please come through, bring your flute. It happened to be an Alex Coltrane event that he and Syria, Botafacina, were throwing that night. And yeah, I brought my flute to the event. And Syria's mom, actually, she's here.
Rada.
Yes, she said, yes, I am.
Rada.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And Syria's mom, actually, she said, come play, you know, get on stage and play. And I'd never played in front of anybody, and I didn't know if I'd mess everybody up, so I didn't go up. But I played in the back of the club the whole night. And then Carlos invited me to the house afterwards, and we started playing. And that's how we got to this point, yeah.
When you say you never played in front of anybody, you mean flute?
Well, I mean, like, on a stage performing. I mean, I played, like, out in nature, out on the street for myself.
Yeah.
In front of Erewhon sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I'm waiting on my $20 smoothie, like, I'll just sit there and play, you know.
But I'm saying you've also played in front of 20,000 people in Outcast.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But this
sure.
felt like different. Like, I mean.
Oh, for sure. It's completely different. Right. With rapping, like, the job is already done when you've written the rap or you've recorded it. People know the words. People know the chorus, so they come expecting those exact words, exact choruses. So it's like just representing something that you've done. With this, and I've never studied where I like played scales or knew chords or even know which notes I'm playing. So I've always free played.
Yeah.
So for me to get in front of people, you know, it was new, completely new for me. And our very first shows, getting in front. I mean, we played in the studio together, but our very first shows were in New York to promote this album.
You said with rap, the work is already done by the time you perform.
Yeah, pretty much with any type of pop music. I mean, you record it.
Yeah.
And people know the words. People sing along with you, you know.
I've never heard anybody say it like that before. That's interesting.
I mean, well, but even like in any kind of recorded music, the job is actually done.
Yeah.
But to that point, New Blue Sun, the job was done when we recorded it and put it out. It's a different process and situation when we play every night because we are completely not recomposing. We're not even trying to play a rendition of it most of the time.
Yeah.
At this point, we're actually making new music every time we hit the stage. So it's, it's you have to pay attention every second. You have to listen every moment. You have to feel what's happening at every moment.
Is your performance as much about listening as playing?
Oh, it's more listening than anything.
You had talked a lot when this record came out. You talked about the sort of beginner's mindset. I think you said something like, I forget the exact term you used, but something like, it was like a baby. You were like a baby again, which I thought was a striking way to look at that. But here we are a year later. You've toured this record around the world. You were just playing shows in Tokyo. You've accumulated, I think, some of the expertise that you were sort of in a valuable way not having when you started this record. Do you feel like you are more of an expert than you were?
No, I'm more. I just have more frequent flyer miles.
Okay.
But what I mean by that is, like we have like a mantra we say before we go out on stage. Like we're just really trying to fly free, so we just go free. So I'm actually used to flying free more now. So I've traveled more. So yeah, I'm an excellent traveler now. Shout out to Nate's new album that's out right now. Excellent traveler. Yeah.
I wonder if you came up against anybody that said, when you've been traveling around, I wonder if you ever just came up with somebody at an airport or somebody that said, man, I don't want to pay my money to come see a guy who is trying out some shit for the first time.
Yeah, and I'd be like, man, stay home.
Right.
Yeah, I'm totally. I'm not trying to force nobody to listen to anything, man. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go anywhere that I wouldn't want to be. I want people there who are down to fly with us. Yeah. And I'm not tripping if people don't want to come.
Because it's an inversion of how we usually think about the audience-artist relationship, right? Where like, I'm coming to see somebody who's put in all these many, many years of things to perfect this craft. Now, of course, the reason that you can do this is because you have put in other versions these many, many years. You're an experienced performer. But by willfully trying something new, I think it is a little bit of it tweaks the usual kind of like relationship between audience and artist.
Yeah, this is true. I think people at this point, they expect the unexpected, and I'm hoping that you're willing to do that. And I mean, there's value in performing recorded music as well. Like, I mean, people do it all the time. Yeah. This just happens to be what's on tap right now.
When you, I mean, this is kind of a corny question, but like, what is the first little, the 30 minutes of music that you guys played today? That was just that you created it as you were here. What is like the first little thing that gets the thing rolling? Is it always you?
No, it depends. Yeah, it just depends on.
What was it tonight?
I think
silence.
Yeah, we started with silence, and that was like the only cues that we have are how we're gonna board the plane, and that's kind of it. And before we walked out, I was like, hey man, I'm feeling. Let's just be silent for a minute, like let the whole room feel just the silence. So we were just quiet for a minute, and then I think you hit a cymbal, and maybe that was the start.
The gong and some of the plants, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about it before we come out or board the plane. Sometimes we don't, but we always huddle very intentionally. We're always close with each other. D'Antoni Parks, Nate Mercereau, Surya Botafacina, André, of course. Ooh. VCR's in the house from the album.
VC. Where you at? There it is.
What inspired you, Carlos, to hit that cymbal that may have like kicked you guys off tonight? How did that enter your mind and then enter your body?
It's just life, just a vibe, just a feeling. I'm stoked to be here. Got some beautiful friends here, and just happy to be here. I don't know, it's like my hair growing more or something, like just breathing,
Yes. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah. One thing that's really interesting, I just got to say, just super quick, sometimes when people talk about the beginner thing, which I feel like gets taken out of context, I haven't heard any journalists ask, so how many other albums that we love by you, was that the first time you ever worked with that drum machine or that keyboard? Or that keyboard or something. People are just immediately taking this word in this way, like, this is how, not the only way, but this is one of the ways he creates. So, like, say Miss Jackson, if he's made that beat.
It's very true.
Would we all be shocked if somebody was like, he just opened that drum machine and never used it before and found the sounds he wanted and made something that we love every single day of our lives. No one asked him that, and that's how I think. I'm like, I know he does that. It's obvious.
Hey, y'all was some of the first chords I ever learned on guitar. So so I think it's a gear that a lot of musicians fail to, like, they skip past it. But I think discovery is really, really valuable. Like when I started producing for Outkast, it was my first tracks were like Elevators, and like ATA, like those were my very first tracks. And I think you're using this material, this discovery material that you can never pretend. You can never pretend the first time you see something. It's like the first time you have sex with a person. Like you can never. I mean, no, it's honest. It's a very new thing, and it's a certain power that you can never get back. So why not use the newness of stuff? And I'm big on that, and I think it comes from me really being excited about something. And when you're excited about something, you can actually harness that excitement and represent it. It's almost like when you see a kid and they've seen like a motorcycle go down the street for the very first time, like that look in their face.
Yeah. Did you think that, how old are you?
49.
Did you think that before you started this project, did you think that you had some of that discovery energy left in your life as a creator?
Yes, because this is new.
Yeah.
This approach is new. So it's very it's very new.
But like before you started this thing, you were, making other kinds of records. It's so familiar to you. I wonder if you were like, man, how do I get back to that energy?
Well, I'm always, turned on by newness, you know. So, I mean, I'm always searching. I'm always going to listen to music. I go to music school sometimes just to see what's on the roster at night, to see what the students are playing. And I'll just go just to hear something new. I'll go to like clubs where new artists are playing. Like years ago, I used to go to this place called The Smell, which is here, and it's kind of like where some of the maybe a band's first time performing.
Yeah.
So I like to check out the newness of things. It's really it's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely use it. Like yeah.
I wondered how you thought about. I mean, in the rap records, the hip hop records, the Outkast records you made, I think you were a very important pioneer in the way you use melody in that kind of music. I wonder how you think about melody in this context. Is melody per se one of the things that you're trying to do with the wind instruments?
Yeah, I'm more or less trying to respond, and I get my melody from my last step to my next step, because I don't know, like I didn't study scales where I know when I hit this key or hit this hole, it's going to make that sound. So a lot of what I do is physical. So I'm willing a thing to happen, and I'm only knowing, my only reference is my last note. So I know if I go up, it's going to be a higher note. If I go down, it's going to be a lower note. I don't know which note that's going to be. Yeah. So it's almost like you're in the dark. I'm in the dark when I'm playing in my mind, because I don't know where I'm going. But you see this door, and you're trying to get to this door. A musician that studied, they don't bump into anything to get to that door. I bump into stuff. So it's different.
Yeah.
So I have to find my own way, my own process.
What's in the door? What's behind the door?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's light, you know what I mean? It's a light, and the reward is that light, and sometimes you'll hit and you'll land, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, yeah. And sometimes it's just more fun to take a longer route to get somewhere.
Sure.
Sometimes it's more interesting, So yeah, I'm just trying to find something, and a lot of times it's more important for me to inject something new than something that I've heard a lot of times, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people who've known your career for decades, they know you as a vocalist, as a person who uses your voice to get your emotional or philosophical point across. In this music, you're not using your voice per se, and I wondered if the emotions that you're evoking, that you're expressing in this music, could they be expressed with your voice, or is it something that is just beyond the human voice?
Yeah, yeah. It's completely different. Like even as a rapper, like there's a lot of rappers that I admire. Like I don't freestyle. Like I don't, just kind of get and just start rapping and like put these words together as an exercise. Like
Yeah.
I don't rap for an exercise. Like I rap because I'm trying to say something. So I'm trying to get to a point, and it's pointed. It's direct in what I'm trying to say. With this, I don't necessarily know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say how I feel.
Mm.
So yeah, it's more of a feeling exploration or a response to what I'm hearing. And like I may hear something that Nate is doing or something that Carlos is doing, and it may excite me, and I'm like, yeah. So it's like a response. Or if it's something that Sirius playing and he's swelling, and I see him standing up doing that thing, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of so
Yes.
it's a listening response
I think
exercise.
it's all,
It's more about what we're doing. It's the physical of it.
Yeah.
I don't know another
but
way
Jay, I
to.
think it's a big thing too. I think it's this whole thing that I admire that you do so courageously, and I think that we're all trying to do. I think the hardest place for a lot of people to go is within. And I find that we are able to go within at, and I mean this title purposely, at a moment's notice. And that to me is a gift that I cannot express how valuable that is just to the heart and soul. Because there's so many different ways and so many different places you can play these notes and just do it by rote and just literally lose your own self in what you think is your own ability. But not here. We have to go within in order to go out.
Mm.
And it's colors too. It's I don't like to use the rote term universal language, but it's like I could rap about something and have a pointed story, but the way I say it, my experiences being from Atlanta, I say it a way someone from Atlanta may I got that. Someone from Japan may not get it, but if I throw a color at somebody, they can feel that. So it's what I've always valued about instrumental music. Even during Outkast times, like we'd be out on the road and I'll be buying bass clarinets and stuff, even when we're doing rap songs. But I've always admired instrumentalists that don't say words but can say something with notes or make me feel a way or make me think about something, with notes.
Yeah.
And so I've always tried to find a way, like how can I get to that? So a lot of times that's what I'm going for. Like the feedback we get sometimes after shows, sometimes people like cry, like tears. Sometimes like, man, I thought of things that I hadn't thought about in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like score for your brain, like score for figuring out something. Like when we first finished the album New Blue Sun, I went to Tyler Creator's house and I played it just to get his opinion. Actually, Frank stopped by randomly. So we're sitting there listening to it, and I wanted to get their opinions about just kind of how they felt about it. And I'm playing a certain song, and Tyler says, man, it made me figure out something that I've been thinking about for a long time.
Helped him on his journey.
So I guess to my point, it's sometimes it's just like, yeah, it's like score for you.
You ever seen anybody in an audience on one of these gigs dance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah, people come drunk sometimes. People sometimes won't shut up. Yeah, do it. Yeah, like we had people like fight. We had this one lady just stand up and just start singing opera really, like no, seriously, like during the show, and then the people behind her who were drinking, they were like, "Sit the fuck down." Like, we've had it all, man. Like
That was during an era when we were encouraging people to make sound.
yeah.
We kind of
We had
after
to
a few
tone
months,
that down.
we
At first, we were like,
we're
"Yeah, y'all
it's cool.
join in and make
We're like,
get
it's
in
cool.
with us." So people, yeah, it was awesome.
Careful what you wish for, man.
I mean, there was great contributions as well, but
we're not
there's some
getting down
wild,
on her.
May I ask what your son thinks of this music, thinks of this record?
Yes, I played it for him when we first finished it, and he's kind of like he's a kid. As I played him Bad Brains, Philip Glass. Sometimes he turned me on to classical music, and I'm like, this dude, he has ears. And so I played it for him, and the first thing he said is like, he said it's his own thing. He's like, it's authentic. That was his reply. Yeah. It's his own thing. It's like you're not trying to do a thing. So
I mean, that seems like it would be gratifying to hear from your
oh
own
yeah,
child.
For sure. Yeah, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. I saw you guys play at Camp Flog Gnaw, a month ago, whatever it was. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I didn't know at a festival how this was going to go over. I mean, there were 10,000, 15,000
And them
people
kids
there.
were into it, man. Like,
Yes.
they get it, man. Like they actually started a mosh pit. We call it a moss pit at this point. Moss pit. Yeah, but they were really into it, and they only gave us 30 minutes to go, and we had to leave, and they really wanted more of what it was.
They absolutely did.
And I think because what I'm responding to when we're doing it is the freeness of it, and I think it's infectious, and I think people out watching it sometimes are like, yeah, I want to be there, So yeah, that's what I get from it. I can't say what another person gets out of it, but that's what I get.
Do you enjoy taking this music into a setting like that? I mean, you guys have played the Blue Note in Tokyo and New York and yada yada. You played events like this, but something like that, where it's like not necessarily the kind of space where we're used to hearing this kind of an experience. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, we've played in all kinds of spaces. We've
Yeah.
played festivals before. And the environment, the people, the town, what happened that day, it all affects, what we're doing.
Yeah.
But,
craziest one the whole year.
Yeah.
Over 40,000 people for free in Atlanta on his birthday, the Atlanta Jazz Festival.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
nuts, right? You guys remember?
oh yeah,
I mean, whoa.
yeah. We sure remember they had like it was the first time
We're-
I've had
we're
like
about to play
drones.
tonight, right?
They
We
had
haven't
drones
played yet.
all in our faces, like.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what is this?
I wanted to throw a rock at the drone.
Hit it with a fluke.
At Camp Flog Gnaw, I don't know if this is Tyler being cute or what, but right after you played, Erica Badu played. You've got a long personal creative relationship with Erica. I think it's fair to say she's one of the great live performers of the
For
past
sure.
30, 40
for
years.
sure.
I wondered if you have been influenced by the way that she thinks about live performance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm totally inspired by Erica for sure. Like I think even when we were kids and in a relationship, we inspired each other. Like it's a true relationship, a true creative relationship as well. And I respect everything that she's done. I respect her ballsiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's like she's doing songs, as we were talking about earlier, she was doing songs that we know, but she's taking those songs way away from where we think we know them.
For sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had the opportunity to talk to Solange a few months ago, and I asked her something about her project that she's been working on. She had like a piece that she wrote for tuba, and it reminded me of your work a little bit. And so I asked her about if she resonated, if your stuff, this project resonated with her. And she said, I'm gonna quote here, if you'll allow me, because I'm interested to hear what you think. She said, definitely. She said, I know what it feels like to have a dire need to express a part of yourself and to be courageous enough to silence all the noise and expectations around you and to step into that. It truly is an act of faith, and for many of us, an act of survival.
Yeah.
I wonder if that resonates with you, that idea.
Yes. So Angel Solange. Yeah, that's. I totally understand that because people they ask me all the time like, how hard is it to do what you do, and it's not hard to do what you're supposed to be doing. It's very easy to follow what you're into. The hard part is when you have to present it to other people and try to get them on board and hope they're on board, because you can't make anybody be on board. But the hardest part is to have the to kind of have the coat to be able to walk out in the world and say this is what I like. You know? But I've always done it. Like every album, album from Outkast. Like I have this cousin, and he's my older cousin. I looked up to him, and we would get in the car, and I would play him whatever album we just finished before we put it out. And there was this thing like he would always when I finished, he would say, "Oh, Andre, man, I'm so scared for you." So and every album he kept saying that.
Yeah.
So now I expect it. So now I'm used to it. Like I'm kind of built for it now. Like I mean, this may be the farthest, I don't know.
Yeah.
That my cousin made. But yeah, I'm kind of at this point. I realize it's your duty to respond to what you into.
Even if there are people who want you to do a different thing, who want you to do a thing that they know.
And I understand that because I am one of those people with other artists too. But I think what people fail to realize that making music for me and for a lot of artists, it's not a push button, push that, and then it comes out, you know, the vending machine, and I get it, you know. So when you're on the outside, you think, oh, you can just do another album, or you can just write this verse, or you can just, but it's never a you can just, you know, you got to feel it.
People have talked a lot about, oh, Andre, you got to rap again. You got to rap again. What about singing? Do you miss singing?
I miss it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I won't say, I think people think you do flute, that means you just stop rapping. Yes, on the surface, it's not a call to, I'm never rapping again. That's not like, no, I mean, I'd love to rap. Like I went with that first title on the album, that's real. You know, like I would love to do a rap album. So that's not like a either or. It's not like I'm doing this and I can't do that. You know, it's just what's happening right now. Like The Love Below, that only had one rap on it. Like, well, two raps. But it was singing most of the way. So people were flabbergasted, you know, at that album. But it was what's on tap. And I think as any person creating anything, you got to do what's on tap. Because you never want to look up. Like, if I responded to people and say, we want you to do this and we want you to do that. Okay, let me try to do this. And I actually force myself to do that. If it fails, I'm going to be really mad.
Yeah.
But if I do what I love to do and it fails, I just loved it.
You still loved it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you got to go for what's coming to you. Like to me that's honest, you know, like, and I think the audience can feel the honesty in what you're doing. Like, I don't want an album from a rapper who's not excited about rapping.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
As a fan, you know, I want you to give it to me like you've been giving it to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Did you hear this new LL Cool J record?
Of course.
Very, very good.
Yeah, it's good.
I was like, man, this feels like I'm seeing LL Cool J. I just didn't expect these songs to sound like this. What he's rapping about at 56. I was kind of blown away by that record. It's a little free tidbit for you.
Yeah, I was happy to see LL enjoy what he's doing.
Yes. I think that's it. May I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
When your hair started going gray, what was your first instinct? Did you think about, let me see what I can do about this? Or
Hell no.
Let me own this.
Hell no. I love my. I don't call them grays either. I think you enjoy them more if you call them silvers.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. So I love my silver hair, and even like just to explain something to you, like back in early Outkast days when I would wear like the white wig. In my brain, that was me. I was trying to look like a person from another planet, and on this other planet in a future time, everybody had wisdom and everybody's hair was silver. So it was kind of like I'm waiting for all mine to get like all white.
Yes.
That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting on that.
Yes.
So yeah, I ain't dyeing mine unless I have to play a movie role, and hopefully I don't have to dye it. Like I really, really, really enjoy it,
Yeah.
and it's fun. Like if you around me and I see a woman on the street and she got silver hair, I'll let her know that that's awesome, and I love it because when you see a woman and she lets it go,
Yeah.
I'm like,
How do you let her
yeah,
know?
it's something. I tell her straight up. Yeah. I think like it's a really a beautiful choice. I think it's a beautiful choice.
Um, people, nature, the whole. So I'm not going to call it like the whole build up to this record, the way people that understood this new version, or well, I don't know, a new version, this latest iteration of Andre 3000. It was you out in the world in nature. Often people would see you playing your flute on the street or in a park or whatever. I wondered, what was your relationship with nature as a child? Were you out in the woods a lot? What did
Yes.
you do?
In Georgia, Georgia, in the South, it's woods. Basically, Atlanta is a city in the middle of some woods. And so, like, my childhood would be like going out in the woods and playing. Like, you would go, build houses in the woods or play hide and go seek in the woods, like, or walk through the trails. So the woods were like a normal thing. You could always find some woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think like that, I don't want to be dramatic, but did that shape who you are?
I'm sure. I'm sure what the trees emitted, like whatever they put off, is in my body since I was a child.
Yeah.
Georgia trees in particular. And that's one thing I miss when I'm here in California. It is more arid place, and the trees are different. So I really start to enjoy it a little bit more when I get up to Oregon, because I'm actually getting back into the thick of trees like Georgia. In a way. My skin lets me know it too.
Yeah. Carlos, do trees at different areas, do they have different sonic properties? Is that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dramatically different?
Just the whole surface of this planet is like a massive, gathering of sound and sound making and vibration and spin and frequency.
Yeah.
It's infinite. So, yeah, all of that. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take some audience questions.
Shirley Temple.
So I think if you guys just want to shout it out, and then I can sort of repeat it for the folks, go ahead. So the question, I'll just repeat it for the folks. Is there a difference between man-made and natural objects in their music making?
Well, yes, there's a difference. When I first started being interested in wind instruments, I first bought a tenor saxophone because of John Coltrane, and this was back during Outkast time. So I was, messing around with tenor sax first, and reading about Coltrane, I learned that he played clarinet first before he went to saxophone, and so I was like, well, let me try clarinet. The moment I went from metal to wood, I never turned back. So for me, I think what I like most about playing these type of flutes is there's a certain thing about wood and wind, and I don't know, I don't know. Maybe Carlos can speak more deeply about it, but I just respond to wood more than an alloy, to a metal. But I like metal too. It's just something warmer and more human.
I think we're celebrating the differences. There's like every kind of everything you can imagine on this stage, from clay to plastic.
Clay is earthen.
To like crystal. Like everything. And there are differences for sure, but those differences are to be celebrated. Those are all things that we're embracing. Right? What do you guys think? Yeah?
Do you?
Oh no, I totally disagree. I cannot do this anymore. It has been uncomfortable up here. Yeah, it's great.
Surya was amazing on the bus because like the jokes were like the characters. I mean, it was fucking awesome. So
Yeah, Syria. Is if anyone's looking for someone to do voices for animation, this guy, like, he can do any accent, any voice, any person. It's kind of awesome.
yeah.
I spent a lot of time forging documents, and I never have. I never have. But everybody speaks in their own key. Everybody, just like all our fingerprints, we all have our own set of fingerprints. We all speak in our own key because I think we all have our own journey that we're literally and metaphysically that we're all on. And so when we get to, you know, I don't even like to say play music because I've learned so many things about the brothers here that are so like they're people that express themselves in many different ways. Alizé. Like Jodeci. Like for me, like for instance, I fell in love with trying to take pictures and photography during our time together. And that's such a beautiful gift because it's allowed me to fall deeper in love with the visual arts. Because I can't draw very well. I can't paint. He can, but I'm just incredibly moved by the fact that like some of the questions that I hear answered that it makes me laugh and chuckle because the amount of creativity that's within everybody here is really really unique and special. And yeah, come see me for some voices. You know?
See,
Yeah.
we record everything.
Absolutely is the answer to your question. And sometimes we're omnipresently recording those moments and can refer back to them because we have the ability to do a lot, not just, so there's presence and then there's supercomputing, which we're all doing, like every one of us. So the answer to your question is absolutely. And Ken, who is Andre's personal engineer, Ken Oriole, Kengineer,
Engineer.
he's been on tour with us the whole year, along with Darcy and Drew and Eufaula and Mark and the whole incredible team. But Ken records every single thing that we do. Big ups to Bryant. Yeah. So absolutely, right?
Yeah, yeah, but
I mean, whoa.
but it's never the same. I mean, even if we clock an idea and try to recreate it, it's never the same. It's fresh and new once again. So yeah.
We just might excerpt it and put it on a record and then play it for you. So, might have to do that. So.
This was a brief performance, but even in a long one, I doubt you get the opportunity to use all of these instruments.
For sure we do. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, I only use like 2%. There were technical difficulties, so I only used like 2%.
Do you ever like, do you ever like feel sorry for like one of these guys where you don't get to use them that often?
No,
No?
because they kind of. I know it sounds a little weird. They kind of speak to you. Yeah, they kind of speak to you because a lot of these things are in different keys, and I'm following only by ear what they are playing. So sometimes, like, and I don't have like where I know, oh, that's that key. I can't. My ears are not like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll go to a flute, and it doesn't work. But there's magic when I pick flute. Sometimes it's like it just works. Like, this is the one. So it's almost like it's calling out, like, "Hey, take me, get me, get
Yeah,
me."
yeah. Well, on that technical difficulty point, I mean, look, you had an idea in your mind that you were about to will into being.
Well, I didn't. I just wanted to play a certain instrument that did not work.
But I mean, do you accept that as
Oh yeah, for sure. It's part of it. It's part of the ride. It's
Right.
like you get on the airplane and they tell you ain't got Wi-Fi and you on the plane for 5 hours.
Yes.
Like, damn.
Any more questions? Yes, right here in the white jacket.
Thank you, man. Uh, yes, yes. Always thinking of any way to express something, and film for sure. I get scripts, working on ideas on my own, but yeah, I'm always open to yeah, for sure.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'll go right over there. Yes, you right there, next to the person holding the cell phone. Sorry.
Be yourself, like, is number one, and don't think of it as an industry because that all comes after. Like, if you want to talk about creativity, like, you can live being a creative being and, not just sustain yourself, but be very successful. But if you're oriented in that as your motive, it's, I suggest you don't. And then, maneuver and traverse and be very careful in the so-called industry part of it after. Maybe diversify your way in which you make income so that your creativity doesn't have to be beholden on trying to earn off of it, even though you might earn really well off of it also. So, there's no rule, but I would say be yourself is number one. Nate D.
I would say get to yourself faster, because I think a lot of times, especially as new creatives, and everyone does it. Like we all mimic or are inspired by people that we love first, and so we spend a lot of time trying to be like them, which sometimes a good training ground. But there's a transcending point where you become the innovator, and so you have to go through that process. So just go through it as fast as you can. Um, but it's almost like learning ABCs before you can put sentences together. But every artist, every creator goes through it because they love a thing and they want to show or contribute to that thing they love. When we first started rapping, we sounded like who we liked, and then at a certain point, you transcend all of that and you become the person that people are trying to be like. And it's happened to all greats that we consider greats. It's happened to them. Yeah, so just get to it faster. Get to yourself faster.
All right. Sorry, it's like hard to see. Yes, you back here in the white shirt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, all right.
I never thought about it in that way, but I just discovered a new instrument the other day, and it's you got to hear it. But it's like so at home I have like this water fountain, and it's like this 5 gallon glass, and when it's full and you fill it up, it goes and it makes this awesome sound that I actually put my phone to it and recorded it. But it's water. It's water. It's basically like a water chime or something. I don't know. But to let you know about the glass. Did we have the cone up? The cone and glass. So the thing about the glass on the cone, it was really to make people focus on water as kind of like this precious thing. So I was trying to put it on a stand. So it was just simple glass of water. Think about water. So it was as simple as that. As for sound and water, I didn't know that fact, but thank you.
Uh, Me, yeah, definitely. Yes, to what you said. Mhm.
Yes, right here. I'm sorry. We'll be there.
We got you, got you, got you.
Sorry, sorry.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
I try. Thank you. Hey. Okay. Yeah, it is. Good question. That I'm really well. That I don't like. That I like the club across the street. I don't know, like it's something. And what I mean by that is, I'm very weary of when everybody's doing something. Like it scares me almost. It's almost like I don't want to get caught up in that pool, and so I'm always trying to go that way. And I noticed that early on in my career, but it's I don't know what that is, but it's something that pushes me to try something else. I don't know. I'm always looking for the something else, you know. And yeah,
Would you say you've succeeded because of that or in spite of that?
both.
Yeah.
I've lost some fans. I've gained some fans, or supporters, or listeners, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it works both ways. Some people, you know, yeah, some people are like, man, fuck him. And I get it, you know, and that's okay. But then some people are like, yeah, I see you, man, yeah.
Well, I see the red light, so we'll have to end it on man, fuck him. I want to say thank you to Andre 3000, Surya Badafacina,
Yeah.
Carlos Nino, Nate Mercero, and D'Anthony Parks.